Good afternoon. On behalf of Colonel Sean Finnan, Commander, 86 Operations Group, welcome to today's ceremony. This afternoon, Lieutenant Colonel Melissa Dombrock will relinquish command of the 76th Airlift Squadron to Lieutenant Colonel John Field. To help recognize the importance of this special ceremony, we are joined by a number of distinguished guests. Spouse of the presiding officer, Mrs. Adrienne Finnan. Accompanying Colonel Dombrock is her husband Ryan, their kids Kellen and Chloe, and her mother Karen Nathan. Accompanying Colonel Field is his wife Eleanor, their kids Connor and Mackenzie, his parents, Colonel Larry Field, United States Air Force retired, and Mrs. Teresa Field, and Elma and Opa Elvira and Carl Umsor. The Commander, 86 Air Mobility Operations Wing, Colonel Adrian Williams. The leadership team from the 86 Airlift Wing, Vice Commander Colonel Denny Davies, Vice Director Mrs. Renee Fisher, and representing the Command Chief, Chief Boubedy. 86 Airlift Wing Judge Advocate Colonel Damon Scott. We also offer a warm welcome to all senior officers, commanders, directors, chiefs, first sergeants, family, friends, and the men and women of the 76th Airlift Squadron. Thank you for attending. The tradition of the change of command dates back to the time of the Roman legions, where the passing of the commander's baton occurred in front of the troops to signify the leader who would take them into battle. In the 18th century, the Continental Army of the United States resumed the tradition, conducting the first change of command ceremony. Historically, the flag or colors of a unit served as the point around which the members of the organization rallied as they moved forward in battle. The colors have traditionally been at the side of the commander or carried forward even when the commander fell in combat. All others may perish, but the colors live on. Just like the colors of the past, the modern-day guidon represents the history, traditions, and accomplishments of the 76th Airlift Squadron. The exchange of the squadron guidon is a symbolic gesture which provides airmen with a tangible view of the transfer of command responsibility for not only the accomplishment of the 76th Airlift Squadron mission, but also the welfare of its airmen. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the playing of the German and American national anthems, performed by Staff Sergeant Linda Kasul of the USAFE Band and Mrs. Suzanne Dawson, followed by the invocation.
Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit für das deutsche Vaterland, dank lasst uns alle streben, brüderlich wie Herz und Hand. Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit sind des Glückes und der Macht. Wir Land sind dieses Glückes, wir
Let us pray. God of all our days, thank you for this day that you have given us and for the occasion that brings us together. This ceremony always reminds us of the immense challenges of command and its energy-consuming efforts. Thank you for Lieutenant Colonel Melissa Dombrock and her committed and faithful service to our great nation. Thank you for the positive impact she has had on our team, airmen, and the mission, as she has served with honor and integrity. We pray that you will continue to be with her and her family as they move on to their next assignment. Please return to them bountiful blessings, as they have been a blessing to so many. We also pray that you will be with Lieutenant Colonel John Field as he assumes command. The challenges of command demand diligence, and dynamic leadership, a creative management skill, and energy-consuming efforts. So provide for him everything that he needs to serve with faithfulness, courage, and integrity as he continues the great work of leading the 76th Airlift Squadron. God, we also pray that you will bless this time that we share together, the men and women of the 76th Airlift Squadron and Ramstein Air Base, according to our needs. Finally, bless the refreshment that has been provided. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce our presiding officer for today's ceremony, Colonel Sean Finnan.
I had the best seat in the house for those anthems. Very, very awesome. Thank you very much. Colonel Davies, Ms. Fisher, Chief Booby, thanks for being here. Also like to welcome my fellow commanders and all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, friends, family, and of course, the men and women of Team Ramstein and the Dove family. I'd like to offer a special welcome to the Dombrock family, of course, Mel's husband, Ryan, Kellen and Chloe, and Mel's mom, Karen. Thank you for being here. And the Field family, John's wife, Eleanor, and their kids, Connor and Mackenzie, John's parents, Teresa, and Colonel retired Army, Mary Field. Visiting all the way from Montana, so thank you for making the effort to be here. And Elvira and Carl, who are technically the Field's German neighbors, but are more like Oma and Opa, thank you so much for being here. It's very special. So as we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the uniqueness of change of command ceremonies. The tradition, the pageantry, the acknowledgement of the responsibilities and authorities of command. These are special events. But while the emphasis is on these two individuals, we all know that a squadron is only partially defined by the person wearing the commander device. I am positive Mel would be the first to take every accolade given to her and deflect it towards you. And so as I speak about her, I'm really speaking about all of the doves. Mel, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for investing your heart and your soul into the 76th Airlift Squadron. Thank you for shouldering the awesome responsibility of command. You carried that responsibility with character, with competence, and with judgment. You set the example on executing our profession, and that execution covered a lot of ground. On your watch, the Doves accomplished well over 1,500 DV missions and supported and provided over 2.4 thousand hours of aeromedical evacuation alert. As we know, your dedicated customers include the Supreme Allied Commander Europe and the AFRICOM Commander. But whether it was them, or the SecDef, or the chairman, or an ambassador, or a senator, or the USAFEF Africa Commander, or defense couriers, or just a lowly two-star, the airmen of the 76 executed their high-vis, no-fail mission flawlessly. You executed aeromedical evacuation on a C-37, a first in our Air Force. You managed the closure of the Resolute Support Mission. You brought a unique and vital capability to the C-21, from good idea ferry to actual execution. You have taken commander's intent regarding agile combat employment and moved out. You have stood up an FTU-style training program from scratch. As the sole executive airlift and operational support airlift squadron, servicing 2 continents and 2 geographic combatant commanders, you've delivered people, patients, and equipment at the right place at the right time, safely, effectively, and ethically. But more importantly, you viewed those tactical contributions as only one part of your mission. You also deliberately executed the other part of your mission, developing better humans. Quarterly arenas, town hall VTCs during COVID, countless hours working talent management and assignments for people. The go-to speaker for Civil Air Patrol, the Company Grade Officers Council, the Foreign Area Officer Panel, the Women Air Force Service Pilots Conference. You were the wing commander's hand selectee for Extremism Down Day and grit sessions with your peer squadron commanders. And most importantly, you always had time to sit down one-on-one with a squadron member and just listen. At every turn, morale, culture, and connectedness were always on your mind. That's normally impressive enough, but throw in the constant turbulence of COVID, months-long humanitarian crisis on our airfield, and a land war in Eastern Europe, your efforts were truly phenomenal. And then for another hold my beer moment, you pushed through pregnancy and brought beautiful Chloe into this world while in command. Absolutely extraordinary. Mel's leadership and passion have infused into this squadron. You can see it and you can feel it. Whether you're talking to a new C-21 lieutenant with a positive and optimistic attitude, or enjoying the amazing culinary creation of an expert flight attendant, or you're witnessing the strength of humility in the experienced C-37 CSO, you feel a pride and excitement about being a Dove that is simply special. It is often said that we stand on the shoulders of giants. Mel, you are one of those giants. Thank you for being a steward of our profession. Thank you for being a caretaker of the Dove lineage. Thank you for serving the tactical doer, the men and women here who execute every day. That service has created positive influence that will span beyond your limited time here. Your presence absolutely mattered. And so today we pass the lineage caretaking responsibilities to the next commander, Lieutenant Colonel John Field, who I'm confident will infuse his influence into this tremendous organization. John comes to us from within the family, flying up from the 76th Director of Operations position, but also as a Dove alum from a previous flying assignment. He has served at nearly every level within the air mobility community. Assistant Chief of Tactics at Travis, C-17 Evaluator and OG Exec at Charleston, C-20H and C-37A Instructor Pilot and Chief SOC here in the 76, and Wing Exec in the 521st AMOUT on the ramp. He's operated aircraft all over the world in all kinds of conditions. He's managed global readiness at the 618th Air Operations Center and excelled as an Air Force legislative fellow. He has seen our government operate at its highest levels as a congressional appropriations liaison. As the 76th DO, he knows firsthand the tremendous things the Doves have done and the amazing things you are capable of doing. He also knows most, probably not all, of your little secrets. He's driven the mission, set and exemplified the standard, and managed the relentless schedule of training. I can think of no officer better qualified to lead the 76 into the future. John, your time in command will be great. You will face new challenges and rise to set new standards of excellence. I have no doubt you will shine beyond anything we can envision today. You have my trust and confidence to lead this team of rock stars. They are eager to prove themselves to you and to make the mission happen. I'm excited for you to assume command. You're ready, and I know you will seize this opportunity. Congratulations. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the medal presentation and the change of command. Thank you again for your attendance today.
Thank you, Colonel Fenning. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the reading of the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Melissa Dombrach. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Meritorious Service Medal, 2nd Oak Leaf Cluster, has been awarded to Lieutenant Colonel Melissa Dombrock for meritorious service from 16 June 2020 to 16 June 2022. Lieutenant Colonel Melissa L. Dombrock distinguished herself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 76th Airlift Squadron, 86th Operations Group, 86th Airlift Wing, Ramstein Air Base, Germany. During this period, Colonel Dombrock expertly led 262 airmen through relentless operations tempo in C-21A and C-37A aircraft despite the coronavirus pandemic, guaranteeing support to 3 combatant commanders and senior leaders of the United States and North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Her keen oversight of a $4.4 million budget and 15,000-hour flying program enabled 695 missions airlifting 2,500 passengers and the only continuous aeromedical evacuation C-21A alert, executing 17,544 alert hours and 86 launches, culminating in 146 lives saved. Additionally, her bold leadership strengthened diversity, inclusion, and mentorship initiatives through group resiliency sessions and leadership workshops, thus forging the future, increasing retention and mitigating a 75% manning loss. As evidence of her tireless leadership and advocacy, the squadron garnered 24 higher-level awards, including the Collegiate Trophy and Air Crew of Distinction. Finally, during Operation Allies Refuge, Colonel Dombrock directed the 300% operations increase, providing safe transit for 35,000 Afghans during the largest personnel evacuation airlift in history. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Colonel Dombrock reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. Thank you, Colonel Fenton. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the Commander, 76th Airlift Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Melissa Dombrock.
Wow, today is a great day. Thank you to all of our distinguished visitors, leadership teams, family, and friends that have joined us in person and virtually. This ceremony looks a lot different than it did in June of 2020. Thank goodness. These events don't just happen, it takes a lot of work behind the scenes, so I'll start by saying thanks to Captain Griffith, Nick Carroll, Sergeant Rivera, and the rest of the Change of Command team. Please help me. A good friend once told me, you never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. As I reflect on the 2 years where I've had the privilege to command the 76th Airlift Squadron Combat Doves, Kampftauben, I'm flooded with valuable memories and overwhelmed with gratitude. Going back to Major General Moore, Brigadier General August, Brigadier General Olson, and Chief Skibitsky, and Colonel Davies, and Ms. Fisher, and the rest of the commanders here today, thanks for entrusting me to lead this squadron. With a proud and long-standing history of safety, spirit, and service dating back to 1943, I'm honored and humbled to have served as the 57th Commander of the Doves. Colonel Finnan, sir, thanks for your sage advice, mentorship, stellar leadership, and unmatched authenticity in showing up and being the commander of commanders. I felt encouraged, supported, challenged, and pushed to new heights because of your example. To Miss Adrian, thanks for leading the OG families with compassion through tough times, and always including Ryan. Chief Roy and Miss Y are not here today, but I wanted to do a shout out. Thanks for them to bring real awesomeness to the table and lead us boldly. Chili, there you are. Thanks for being a sounding board as we tackle challenges together and work through to create better solutions. Fellow commanders, what an awesome privilege to have a built-in set of trusted peers. Iron sharpens iron, and man, we are tough. We embraced and celebrated successes together, challenged assumptions, had difficult yet respectful conversations, and many virtual and finally in-person resiliency chats, while always lending an ear to solving problems and making the Air Force a better place. I learned so much about how other units contribute and how well we work together as a team, especially during OAR. Colonel Finnan used this quote, and I'll use it again. As Sir Isaac Newton said, "If I've seen further, it's by standing upon the shoulders of giants." I know our paths will continue to cross, and I'll be cheering you on. Shout out to my OG brothers, my Spice Girls, Bo, Queso, Kevin, Tom, GK, and now Taylor too. We're stuck together like glue in my memories. Friendship never ends. Thanks for always embracing me as the only girl at the table for a while. Thanks, Taylor, for showing up. And thanks for embracing my panache, for always throwing glitter on our challenges. To the quad, and what I realized was 3 generations of DOs, SELs, and shirts. Wow, you've taught me a lot. To Stephen, John, and C-Dub, the fierce DOs that hold the line, sticking up for our crews and demonstrating that ops never stops. Your leadership is vital in the balance of what it takes to lead a flying squadron, and I thank you. To have senior enlisted advisors and first sergeants be the most trusted confidant and superb leaders that you really connect with, that is rare. And I've been lucky enough to have this happen 3 times. Frankie, he's back there somewhere, there he is. Frankie, Rachel, Chantal, your passion for force development and caring for our airmen is unmatched. Thank you for being bold enough to shut the door and tell me what's up. Taylor, B-Rod, and Tiffany, thanks for showing me that diamonds are really a girl's best friend. I know Taylor and Christy are watching from San Antonio. I'll be on our deck later with the Shorla when you need to call me. Sometimes you really just need your shirt. All of you provided confidence to me as a leader, as well as a gut check on the decisions we were making for the right reasons. I am the leader I am today because of your mentorship and coaching and support. Hey Doves, to those of you here in person, those of you watching, and especially those flying the blue skies high above us, here's my last broadcast, coming at you. It's been the ultimate honor of my career to serve you. Your professionalism and positive attitude while crushing our mission with flawless execution is outstanding. I've trusted you, believed in you, and have seen you for who you really are. Thanks for letting me in on the journey. I'm incredibly proud to be wearing this patch, core memory in my heart. We've been through a lot in the last 2 years, and some of it's been said. I want to share a little bit of that story. In the summer of 2020, as we know, COVID raged. It's almost hard to remember now how many unknowns we were living through day to day. It started with 87 individual meet and greets because I couldn't even meet y'all on a commander's call. That was weird. Constantly changing restrictions, wildly unpredictable media response, and global thrash with travel bans. It was crazy. We were losing family members, friends, ability to travel, connect, proficiency in evaluations in the jets, and connection to each other. What a challenge to find a silver lining. And then we had a unit inspection. That was supposed to be a joke. That was not the silver lining. The Doves rose to educate me quickly. We passed with flying colors. As COVID continued, we made some dynamic decisions together, and this was the silver lining. We got creative. Single-engine C-21 work, check-rated training waivers, culinary training options in Europe, virtual hog calls, check-ins, reallocating funds for a tech refresh so we actually could telework, cheap commander broadcast videos, we embraced it all. We survived election season with a surge in ops tempo, then a second round of shutdown in Europe, then the back and forth of available COVID vaccines, and so many COVID tests. We thrived finally in what felt like the blue skies of summer 2021, not only with ops tempo and exercise integration, but with travel and our return to training. You also earned incredible accolades for the completion of the Resolute support mission from the commander himself after decades of active executive airlift downrange. Then in mid-August, without blinking, we flipped the switch to 24/7 deployed in place operations for Operation Allies Refuge, bringing many of us older folks full circle to our own memories of Afghanistan in the past. Ops never stopped, and yet also our 35,000 extended family members living in the tent city behind us required our attention as we became the global gateway. What many of us will never forget is the human stories from OAR while working in the pods. I will never forget checking in with you at midnight every night, humbled and impressed by the countless acts of selfless service you demonstrated and your mental resiliency. I will also never forget climbing 10 flights of stairs every night for the midnight shift in the tower as the air boss to direct arrivals and departures while 7 months pregnant. Moving on. Throughout all this time, somehow we forged ahead with consistency through quarterly arena workshops, Dove Down days, professional development, and gatherings whenever possible. Hooray for Dubtoberfest, and finally an in-person holiday party. I'm still very thankful to Dan Thompson, and I don't know if he's in the audience today, but Dan challenged me to dance at the party because I was super pregnant, and I did. And I'm quite sure that helped Chloe make her speedy arrival a short 2 days later. Of course, because you're incredible, I knew I could shelter in the love of newborn life with my family at home for 3 full months, and you carry on, which of course you did. Despite war in Ukraine, a surge in ops tempo, and a second unit inspection in less than 18 months. I returned to work in mid-March, and you welcomed me back and extended incredible grace and flexibility. I think I can say I've changed the vernacular that going to pump doesn't mean just hitting the gym. Sorry. You can't be what you don't see. And out here, I see the diversity of 8 different specialties in 2 separate airframes in the most unique airlift squadron in USAF Africa that integrates into a powerhouse OG and wing without being lost. I see airmen crushing it. BTC, awards, DGs, upgrades, innovations, Chick-fil-A that shook the KMC to the core with deliciousness, bold leaders who make life better, expert professionals that are accountable, and leaders who build the bench. To our Dove families and key spouses, you've shown incredible resiliency through the challenging 2 years here, and incredible strength of connectedness that only an Air Force family can muster. Life is good. Life is so, so good. In 2 years, we've grown in joy as a family with 11 squabs born in the squadron, 4 marriages, countless new fur babies, and lots of fish. We're a family, and I've been humbled by the outpouring of genuine love you all have for each other. Thank you for showing up again and again, being brave enough to share your stories and let me be part of this journey. I believe that leadership is ultimately a human endeavor, and through this is great growth. Sharing in my vulnerability, you stepped into the arena with me. If I could, I'd keep a jar of your 2 cents on the shelf for the times when I need a thoughtful, deep reflection. For Ryan and I personally, I'm really gonna try, I'm sorry. We have truly learned it takes a village, probably true at any stage of life, whether referring to leadership or to parenting, but we've hardly ever been alone. We want to express our sincerest gratitude to you for unwavering support as we both continue to work full-time and literally grew our family in front of your eyes. Beyond our Dove family, to my mom here today, Ryan's parents, Pat and Arlen, Aunt Pat, Kevin and Laura, Chris and Carly, Fred and Kim, Bo and JC, Miss Tara and Miss Nina, thanks for being our village and showing up to help us. We cherish it. We can't live this life and lead this way without support. To Ryan, thanks for rising to the challenge of being a key spouse mentor despite COVID, as well as taking on the challenges of leading the Air Force Wounded Warrior Program. I'm so proud of you. I'm still standing here today because we're a team. Thank you for being my sounding board and voice of reason, chair flying every possible COA with me to exhaustion. Thanks for listening and most importantly, wrapping your arms around me at the end of our long days. I'm forever thankful for your love and patience. As I navigate life as a working mother and an airman, always striving to be a better wife, mother, and leader. I'm so excited to be by your side now and always as we raise our 2 little humans together and continue the journey. To Kellen, my son, I love you. Thanks for making me a mama, helping me show up as a toddler mom and as a commander. You're a true squad, raised running the halls of the squadron and meeting Nick around. Excited about seeing airplanes and all the people. You've grown from 1.5 to 3.5, such a big kid now, and a big brother. To Chloe, my daughter, you won't remember this, but we will. We will always remember you were the one who made me a pregnant flying squadron commander. Who does that? And then arriving quickly at home and growing your first 6 months of life as a squab. Welcomed greatly by this Dove family. Your smile lights up the room and reminds me what's truly important. Love you, baby bear. I can't wait for all of our adventures we'll have as a family in Garmisch. As our family continues on our own transition, we know it's made easier by surrounding yourself with wonderful, dedicated, awesome people. This is also true for the Doves. John, Eleanor, Connor, and Mackenzie, you are the right fit to lead the Doves into the future, and I know you'll embrace everyone as your own and cherish this legacy. I think Maya Angelou has the best words for you in this moment. I've learned that people will never forget, I learned that people will forget what you said, forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. A few days ago, someone asked me, well, ma'am, what are you going to leave us with? As I reflected on that, my mind quietly wandered through many of the memories I've shared with you today. So I'll leave you with this charge. Show up. Be yourself. Be authentic and brave enough to actually show up. And all the rest will follow. Thanks for what you do, and more importantly, who you are. It matters. Once a dove, always a dove. Dove 01 out.
Thank you, Colonel Dobrock. The men and women of the 76th Air Squadron would like to render a final salute to Colonel Dobrock. Please stand for the change of command. Attention to orders. 86 Operations Group, United States Air Force in Europe and Air Forces Africa, Ramstein Air Base, Germany. Under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51509 and in accordance with Special Order Number 22-15, dated 07 June 2022, Lieutenant Colonel John T. Field is hereby appointed Commander of the 76th Airlift Squadron, effective 16 June 2022, signed Sean Finnan, Colonel, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my honor to be the first to introduce the 58th Commander of the 76th Airlift Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel John Field.
Somebody told me to take it in, so give me a second to take it in. This is awesome. Good afternoon. Thanks everybody for coming. Colonel Finnan, thanks for taking the time to come do this today. It means a lot. I honestly didn't think you were going to do it. So there was an ugly sweater competition a few years back, and he lost, I won. Your shirt was really ugly. It just wasn't ugly enough. So I appreciate you coming today. I think he still holds a grudge. So it's been an honor to serve with you again. We've crossed paths 3 times now. I'm always inspired by your leadership. I'm humbled that you and General Olson have put your trust and confidence in me and my family to lead the 76th. Colonel Davies, Ms. Fisher, Chiefs, fellow commanders, fellow squadron commanders, Chiefs, First Sergeants, family, friends, and all those attending virtually. Thank you for coming up, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend today. I mean, how cool is this setting? We've got 3 aircraft in this hangar. It is awesome. This probably won't do it justice, but I was told I didn't thank my wife enough. Thank you to my beautiful wife, Eleanor. I'm gonna have to read all this. You are my best friend, and you have remained positive and unwavering in your care of our family and our squadrons over the last 16 years. With 7 deployments, 8 moves, countless TDYs, on and on, you are the rock that keeps me grounded. You've been through every up and down. I wouldn't be where I am without your faith, trust, encouragement, and support. You're incredibly talented and crazy kids. Connor and Mackenzie, I feed off your energy. Thank you for understanding when Daddy has to leave for work early and the nights that I have to stay late. Our family has grown for the next couple of years. Mom and Dad, thanks for taking 4 flights out from Montana to be here today. This wouldn't be the same without you guys here. Oma and Opa, I know back in 2014 when we moved next door to you, you said you're crazy Americans are moving next door. You probably didn't think you were going to adopt us. We cannot imagine our family without you. So all of you has been an incredible journey to get here, and all of you have supported me through it. The team that put this together isn't lost on me what it takes to do everything that's required for this. I appreciate everything you have done while flying, and half of them were out processing too. 3 jets in 1 hangar, I still can't believe it. That was a curveball yesterday. I'm glad it worked out. To the ones that sung today, I don't think I've had chills like that when somebody sang the national anthem in a long time. So big round of applause. Really kind of put today with the flag behind me now, the jets in front of us, and what the Star Spangled Banner stands for, really into perspective. So I really appreciate that. Mel, Ryan, Kelvin, and Chloe, what an adventure you've had. It's incredible what you were able to do as command. Mel, it's been inspiring to watch you lead the Doves. This day is a celebration of what you were able to accomplish over the last 2 years. You have held true to your promise that you made to the men and women of the 76. I did go back and watch your speech. To be authentic, positive, and to leave with passion and compassion. You nailed it. 14 years ago, as young co-pilots, we flew together a while back as well. I don't think either one of us would have thought we would be here in this moment right now. Well, maybe you did. I am humbled to have you as a commander over the last year. More than that, I'm grateful to have you as a mentor and a friend. We will all miss you. To the men and the women of the 76, the Fighting Doves, we are small, but we are mighty. We're the fastest and most diverse airless squadron in the world. We have a rich heritage of excellence over the last 79 years. As a director of operations, I've had the privilege over the last year to get to know you and what you're capable of. I've seen firsthand how you epitomize the safety, spirit, service model that we hold dear. There's not been a challenge that you have not stepped up to. When I showed up in July, we were just coming out of COVID. The Freedom Fest was the first time we were able to do something without masks. We had all sorts of plans going forward into the summer. Boy, did those plans change. When the call came for us to support 35,000 Afghan refugees, you answered. Overnight, we and all of Team Ramstein turned this base into a safe haven for those who needed it. All without skipping a beat in ops. We never failed to support a mission. We always answered the call. I'm incredibly proud of what you were able to accomplish. Those who have come before us will be proud of the legacy we continue to build on. As you know, this is not my first time, or this is not the first time Team Field has been part of the 76. We consider this squadron our family, and all of you are part of our family now. I promise to always be transparent, empowering, accountable, and motivated. I challenge you to keep up with me. I'm eager to see what together we're able to accomplish. And I want to thank you for everything you do to serve our nation and Team Ramstein. I'm truly honored and humbled to be your commander. Thank you everyone for coming today.
Thank you, Colonel Field. At this time, the men and women of the 76th Airlift Squadron would like to render their first salute to Lieutenant Colonel Field. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the 76th Airlift Squadron are proud to have served with Colonel Dobrock. We We wish her and her family best of luck on their next journey. To Colonel Field, sir, with you leading the team, we're excited for the future of the 76. Thank you to all who have joined us and those who have made this event possible. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. This concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for attending. Colonel Field has provided refreshments and snacks for all. Have a wonderful day.
We got it all. We got it all. You did it. In stream.